Hey everyone, I am so excited that Antoinette Tuff is joining us today. Now, never did she ever imagine that she would be an accidental hostage negotiator where she would use her life challenges, experiences to successfully convince an armed gunman to give up his AK-47. And in doing so, she became a hero, saving more than 1,000 lives at the Ronald E. McNair Discovery Learning Academy. Since then, she's become a best-selling author, a recognized speaker, a high-performance corporate coach, leader in diversity, inclusion, psychological safety for women, schools and districts, universities, and anyone who wants cultural diversity and equality. Wow, Antoinette. But that's not all, right? Because she also founded and is the CEO of a nonprofit organization called Kids on the Move for Success, and she was a guest of Michelle Obama at the State of the Union address. Absolutely amazing, Antoinette. Now, Antoinette has something on her website that really inspired me, so I'm going to quote her. She said, "The greatest part of us is our power to live with purpose. But you can only live on purpose if you exercise that power." Welcome to the program, Antoinette. I'm so excited that you're with us.
Awesome. It's great to be here with you today and your audience.
Yes, we can't wait to hear from you. What an inspiring story that you went through all of that. My goodness, I mean, talk about take someone by surprise, right?
Oh, most definitely.
But look where you are now, right?
Yeah.
You're helping so many other people in different areas of their life, and which is one of the reasons why we connected and why I wanted you on the Transformation Summit, because you have a topic that's called Prepared for a Purpose. And I think our viewers and myself, I want to hear more about that, because purpose to me was extremely important in my journey, because my purpose and my why, when they met my values, I discovered my superpower. And I think there's a lot of people out there that still haven't really discovered their purpose. And so, Antoinette, tell us more about that.
Well, I started the Living on Purpose program was because I realized doing all of that, everybody thought that for me, it was when the gunman held me hostage with an AK-47. But really, it really started a year before that, when my marriage, after 33 years, the man that I had been with since I was 13 years old, finding myself at 46, now looking at being single by myself. You know, I had never been in a house by myself. I had never slept in a bed by myself. I was 13. And so it was like, how do I now get into this new me? I didn't know who I was. You know, all of my life and everything that I had revolved around my husband and my kids. And so now my kids were grown, and my son was 21 in school. My daughter was 26 in law school. And so it was like, what am I going to do? It's like, I am clueless. And so I found myself, you know, really having to learn who I was, you know. And it was like, okay, how do you talk about a transformation?
Right.
And trying to figure out your purpose. So when that happened, I found myself really unstable mentally. Okay. I tried to commit suicide several times. 2 days before the gunman held me hostage, I went to one of the busiest streets here in Atlanta, and I walked out in front of a car, and the car didn't hit me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get this right. So I waited. I went back over the side of the street. I waited there for a few minutes, and I seen this big tractor trailer truck coming. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, this truck is going to hit me. I'm going to walk out there, because I knew that a truck needed, like, you know, football field. I always heard people say to be able to stop. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to walk out here in front of this truck, and he's going to hit me, right? But then he kind of went around me, and I'm like, wait a minute. I still can't even, you know, commit suicide. I'm trying to do this thing. And so by that time, I went back, you know, just weeping and crying. I called my ex-husband, and I was like, you know, I just want to die. I don't know how to live without you. But I didn't know, Daryl, that the only reason why I couldn't commit suicide was because 2 days later, God was going to have me to get up, still overwhelmed, because even though I tried to commit suicide, it wasn't like he was coming home, because he was already in another relationship, living with a woman and all that. So even though He heard me talking about committing suicide. I'm telling him what I'm doing. It wasn't my first time trying to commit suicide, but I can thank God today that it was my last.
Yeah.
But that still didn't get him home, right? But
Right.
I didn't understand, like, why could I not do it? But the reason why was because 2 days later, I was going to go to school crying, overwhelmed, trying to figure out how I was going to pay the bill. Didn't have money to put food on the table. Didn't know what I was going to do and all of that. I found myself overwhelmed still, trying to figure it out. I get to work, and so I'm sitting at work, right? And my principal says, "Can you fill in for the secretary?" And if anybody who's a parent on here or educator, the first week or two of school is chaos.
Right. I can imagine.
You know, you got 50 million kids coming, parents coming, everybody angry, educators coming. And with me being the bookkeeper, you trying to give out, supplies to the teachers. You trying to enroll kids. So it's a really busy time. And so when the principal asked me if I could fill in for the secretary, she had just started 2 days before that. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. I got to try to figure out what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing yet. And so I'm like, okay. So before I could go to relieve the secretary, I get this phone call. And this the bank wanting $14,000 in 7 days. And I'm saying to myself, did they get the memo that my husband left? That's what I'm saying to myself. They must don't know I'm broke. I ain't got no food to put on the table tonight. And so they didn't care. They wanted their $14,000. And so I'm sitting here now. I got another level of like what I need to do. Mind you, now they didn't know that I just got my car out the shop like 2 days before that. Okay. So I'm like, okay, what do? I had just borrowed this money to get the car out the shop so I can get to work because I was bumming rides to get to work. So it was just like a crazy, crazy time in our lives. And I think some people can now experience that and kind of understand what that looked like now that we're in this pandemic. It's crazy for us again, right? And so I'm like, okay, so now what do? So I'm sitting here, I go now and go relieve the secretary after I get myself together because nobody in the school knew that my husband had left me. And so I'm crying and overwhelmed, but I still got to do a job. So I go relieve the secretary. And after all of that, I sit there. The secretary goes out of one door and the parent goes out the other door. The parent held the door open for the gunman, not knowing she was letting a gunman into school.
Wow.
So we're sitting here like, okay, wait a minute. Let me get my eyes together. So, I'm sitting there, I'm talking to one of the teachers, and I'm like, he comes in the door like, AK-47 out, book bag on his back. We are all going to die today. So I look up because I'm helping her with her paperwork, and she look up, and I'm like, is that for real? And it was. So that transformation for me, that's why I said started then, because if I had not had the opportunity to be able to be going through a divorce, and my divorce was finalized in May, the gunman came in August. So you can see I was still in trauma all the way, right?
Yeah.
So if I hadn't been going through all of that, I wouldn't have been ready for the gunman. So I would say to anybody right now, when you're sitting there in your home trying to figure out, I'm in a pandemic. This is going on. I'm trying to figure out my bills. I don't have a job. I don't know how I'm going to put food on the table. You're going through all of these transformations in your life, right? I just want you to know to just hold on because you are living on purpose right now today. I didn't see that time, but I realized doing that was what allowed me to be able to see what my purpose was. Wow. That school shooting was the only school shooting in the nation that had no fatalities or injuries because I was able to talk that gunman down. And so from that, I wanted to make sure that not one more person felt like they were hopeless. No one didn't feel like they didn't know what their purpose was.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And no one else could feel like, what's my next? I don't get it. How do I get it, right? And so I want them to be able to put their glasses up a little bit, put a smile on your face, and be able to walk into your destiny and your purpose. So I wanted women to be able to have an actual circle that when you're feeling low, that you can be able to come into this living on purpose. And even men come into our living on purpose program it's a 12-week program. Now, don't come and say, oh, I'm just going to sit down. No, this is a program. You're going to have some homework. We're going to dig deep. And so I wanted to do that because nobody helped me to dig deep.
Right.
Nobody was there that I could be able to have a safe conversation with. Talk to somebody about what's going on with me and be real, and knowing that my business was not going to be on CNN. We don't tell your business in the programs. You want to be able to have a safe place and somebody that you can go to, a mentor, a coach, or somebody that you can be able to say, what does this look like? It's all part of transformation. It's all part of, living on purpose and knowing what your purpose is. But if you don't know how to get in the driver's seat, right, and drive one more time, right, who's going to show you that? You need a coach to be able to do that for you. And so those are some of the things that I wanted to do after my experience with the gunman, is to be able to show people, like, what is, I call it you, right? What is you? Right. And you stands for yourself. You know how you go into the, when you're on the airplane, right? And they say, put your mask on first, right?
Yeah.
Before you put on the next person. I say the same thing. If you don't put on and love on yourself first, how you going to love on someone else? And I had to do that. I had to realize, like, okay, Antoinette, who are you? And so one of the things that I did on my you part of myself was I did this thing called the mirror, right? I would get in the mirror and I would just introduce myself to myself. And I would say, Antoinette, meet Antoinette. Antoinette, love Antoinette. So I had to put my glasses up a little bit, get stuff right, put on your smiley face, get your hair right now. Yeah. Put on your best face. And I had to introduce myself. Now, I'm going to be honest with you in the audience. Let me just be honest a little bit. My first few times I did it, probably about the first 30 days, I cried. I cried like a baby because I realized that I didn't know who I was. But it got better every time I did it. And so I didn't give up on loving me. And so I think what we do is, it's easy for us to love others, but it's hard for us to love ourselves. And so that's why I say, okay, what's that you, right? And so the O stands for outstanding. If you don't think you outstanding, ain't nobody else gonna think you outstanding. And so it comes to be able to look at the things that you accomplish. A lot of times what we do, we are so, like hard on ourselves. I didn't get this done today. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. And then how many times now with all that's going on, you just beat yourself up, right? And so I had to be able to understand, and as I'm introducing myself, and say, girl, you outstanding. And then the you, I had to go back and say, I'm unique. It's the only school shooting that had no fatalities because I was able to talk him down, right? But I had to be able to see that nobody is my duplicate. Nobody can duplicate me. Whether it's talking the gunman down, whether it's doing my programs, when somebody get me, they get the unique Antoinette. They get, they get to learn all about what that looks like for them. How do they walk into their purpose? They get the authentic me. And so I would say to each and every one of you all that'll be listening to this conference, you may go back and get the VIP and so you can hear it again. I just want you to be able to know the you. Yeah. And that you is yourself, that you are outstanding and you are unique and nobody can take that away from you no matter what.
Yeah. And you know what? Thinking back to before the shooter, you were in absolute despair. I mean, for someone to want to take their life multiple times and actually take action when you stood out there in front of the car and in front of the truck, you were like by yourself. There was nobody else, nobody helping you. But yet, a purpose showed up a little bit later that allowed you to stand up and basically say to a gunman, hey, this isn't going to happen here. and save thousands of lives. And I think that's amazing. So I believe that there's people that are watching this right now that might be in that state of despair. They don't see, we can't see the future. You didn't know 2 days later you'd be standing in front of a gunman, right?
Right.
So what would you say, Antoinette, to these people who are stuck right now. They're in despair. They don't know what the future is. Is there hope?
Oh, most definitely. Because, see, this is the thing that I've realized today in loving myself. That's why it's important to learn how to love yourself. One thing I realized in loving myself is that I had to go back and say, you know, because I always spend quiet time with God. I shut my life down
Right.
3 or 4 times a year. Like, okay, what does that look like? But I always ask God to give me 2 words every year to orchestrate my next year. My
Okay.
2 words this year is focus and loving yourself, right? But what I
Right.
realized in that is that when I love myself, it's nothing that anybody can say to me because I'm going to stay focused. I'm going to stay focused in what I need to do. What does that look like for me? And all of that. And
Right.
so I'll tell anybody that when you're trying to navigate this new normal that we're in, because it doesn't look like it's going anywhere anytime soon, right? When you sit back and love on yourself, it will help you to stay focused. It will help you to be able to see what is that you need to do.
Right.
And so just, come back and say, sometimes we got to look around and say, okay, wait a minute. Because everything is going around, right? But if you go back and take out all the noise that's all around you as you do, because it comes. It will take you off of right here of focus and say, okay, wait a minute, put your glasses up a little bit. Get your hair done real cute on yourself because it's going to make you feel good about yourself. Yeah. And stay right there in your lane and just love on yourself. So that's what I'll tell people today who's listening to this is go back, figure it out. If you got to write you some, I write a vision and make it plain. I have a vision wall that I have hanging up. So when I get off focus and I'm all around and I'm trying to figure it out, I go back and look at my vision wall. I look at, what I wrote down and what I want to see in my life. That helps me stay grounded. It helps me stay focused. But most of all, it helps me loving myself and knowing what my purpose is. And when you don't do that, it helps you not to live on purpose. And it's important. If you don't have a group, I realized even with my marriage, I really didn't have girlfriends. I just only started having girlfriends in my singleness. Now, why? I don't know, but that's not a good thing. Male or female, you need a good group of men and you need a good group of women. So you can get outside to be able to know what you like to do. Have some time with yourself. Have some quiet time. I don't care if you go to McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, get your ice cream cone in the book. Have you some mommy time. I don't care if you're a man and you go to the gym. Have you some man time. You got to have some time outside of just looking at your wife, your husband, and your children and your responsibilities in your home every day. You got to take time out. And if you can't do it for hours, take small time out. Say, babe, give me 15 minutes. Now, if you can't go nowhere, go sit in the garage. I'm going to get this ice cream that I bought. I'm going to sit in my car in the garage for 15 minutes. And then y'all come out and get me in 15 minutes. But I need 15 minutes. Now, women, y'all know it's a good old Calgon. Get you a good Calgon bath with some lavender in it and some candles. 15. Look, mommy time, 15 minutes. That's all. You just get your 15 minutes. And that's going to make you just really feel much better and being able to walk into your purpose.
Yeah, it's self-care. And I think it's not selfish either to do this, right? Because when you start to focus on yourself and you start to transform for the better, the trickle effect benefits your kids, your husband, and everybody around you, your whole community, right?
Absolutely. Because guess what you're not doing? When you focus on yourself, you ain't sitting around there looking all around and you ain't trying to put your glasses up because they already up and your hair looks cute. You can go on there and say, baby, what you need? You ain't fussing at the kids. You ready to make dinner now. You're ready to be able to say, okay, mommy, daddy gonna have us some quiet time. We're gonna watch us some movie. Go in your room. You're able to do all that, but you're not able to do that when you're frustrated. when you mad, when you angry. You done burned up the dinner, and we like, okay, Mama, you fried chicken real good. That's one of your specialties. And the chicken is a little burnt.
Yeah, just eat it and keep your mouth shut.
Yes. Because remember that was the last pack I had tonight.
Now, there's going to be some people out there that really don't know what their purpose is yet. How does someone start working towards determining what their purpose is? What does that look like?
What I would say is, one of the things that I do with mine is, as we do their assessment, I kind of take people through what their assessment is to kind of see. And a lot of times they don't know. But when we go through the assessment and kind of, ask them different questions, that helps me to be able to help them to be able to figure out what their purpose is. A lot of times what we do is we don't realize that, what was that one thing that I really like? And one of the exercises that I do with my clients is this. I tell them, close your eyes, put your glasses up right, stand and look real cute.
Yeah.
And I want you to just think about something that you would do, right? That you would do for free.
Right.
If you close your eyes and money was not an option, right? And you said, I would do this one thing, even if I did it for free. That is 9 times out of 10 your purpose. And it's at least the start of your purpose to walk you through it.
Yeah.
And so when you do that, then you start looking at, oh, I like to bake. Oh, okay, you know what? I like to impart into youth. I like to have I like seniors. I like to work with seniors. So you start looking at all those things that you like to do, and whether you get a paycheck or not, when you walking in your purpose, it's just marvelous.
Wow. This is amazing. So tell me a little bit about your course. Like, people can get a hold of you through your website, and we'll provide that link as well. So if someone's interested in your course, how many weeks is it? I think you said it before, but let's just go over that again.
Okay, so say someone wants to get into I have two different training programs. So the Living on Purpose program, it's a 12-week program. They come in, we have homework, they get journals that they do, they have worksheets that they do. We kind of walk them through all of that. And so in that session, we have different modules within it. And so when they come in and do assessment first. We kind of walk them through that. They have one-on-one sessions with me. I give them all kind of different bonuses so they can come in that Living on Purpose program. They do the one-on-one. We do group sessions. I do them a Tuff associate, so I have them an accountability partner when they're there. So man, you may say, well, I don't really have anybody I can talk to because they run their mouth too much, right? I don't want to tell them my business.
I can't get a word in edgewise.
So with this, I give you an actual Tuff associate and so you have somebody that you can kind of, I believe iron sharpens iron, right? And so It's not like, one of my rules is, everybody has their opinion. We don't put anybody down. It's a safe place. And so in my Living on Purpose program, which is 12 weeks, I only take 10 women in each program. So I do small groups in that because it gives everybody an opportunity, right, to be able to share. It gives everybody an opportunity to be able to say, like, I would like to do this, I would like to do that. The other thing that I do within that program is, like, I go back and say, okay, what was that you said you would do for free, right? I reach out to people that are in my community, and I have them to come and be guest speakers. So as you are now talking about, I would like to have a nonprofit, then I bring people in that's in my community that sits in my team, one of my team members, to come in and talk about nonprofit. So they give you all the setup of what that looks like for you. How do you do that? Say you say, well, Antoinette, I really want to do, branding. I don't know how to brand my business. What does that look like? I bring in one of my team members. They talk about branding and doing all that. So you can be able to know. So even though it's a Living on Purpose program, I truly believe that we birth entrepreneurs out of that. One of my
that's really cool.
One of my students came in and she was like, okay, I really want to do my own nonprofit for girls. And so I was like, okay, let's iron it out a little bit. Let's look at what let's get your little, give you a template for your business plan. You got to have a name. How you set it up. We go through all of that within the program so that when they come out, whatever that dream is, I tap into all of that. Also in their one-on-one sessions, I go back and look. Did you do your homework? Because you got to invest in yourself. Did you do your homework?
Yeah.
If you didn't do it, then why didn't you do it? Are you stuck somewhere? So it's not like, when mama said, I'm going to whoop you because you ain't do your homework. It's not like that.
I was wondering.
It's not like that. But what I want people to be able to do is, and I had to realize with myself, if you don't invest in yourself, then you can't come and ask somebody else to invest in you.
Yeah.
And so I want to be able to give them tools and tips. So, and then bring in other speakers and then bring in other things that they can be able to do. Another thing that I do within my programs on both sides is that I go in and allow them to go and interview on my platform. So they can come in if they like to, and we do one-on-one interviews on my social media platform, and just to give them other opportunities. And then some of the people that go through my program, they become now recycle and be one of my actual team members to come back in and help somebody else along the way. So that's my Living on Purpose program. Wow. Yeah. So I kind of make sure that we do that. I also do one that's called Me Time, and Me stands for Mind Empowerment Time Community, and that's where it's for women. We do and men. You don't have to be male or female. You can be male or female in that Me Time. But what we do in that is we give back to each other. So that one is a monthly fee that we do every month. But what we do in that community, you get some of the same benefits that you do in the Living on Purpose community. But with that community, it's a monthly fee. But in that month, you get an actual gift box. And so what we do is, say you have a business within our community. Instead of us going outside and getting gifts from others, we come back and buy within our community. So what we do is always recycle within our communities to make us strong within the community.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's that one. The other way that somebody has an opportunity to do is called DIPS. So that means if you're like a corporation, you're a nonprofit, you're a school district, university, or or you could be association. If you don't have, like now with everything that's going on, if you don't have diversity, inclusion, or psychological safety within your organization, then we come in and do an assessment again. Then we come in and you have different options that you can do within that program. So we have, you can just pick one topic. Those topics are, and I give you a whole big roadmap to do it. All this information is on my website. So what we do is we go in. You can be able to come in and do either one of them. You can also, we have a 12-week, and then we also have our mastery program. So you can say, well, Antoinette, not really sure what to do. So you can do the Kickstart program. Or you kind of know a little bit, so you do the deeper dive. And then if you say, Antoinette, I really need all of it, right? I want to have the team members, I want everything. And that's our mastery program. And that usually lasts about 6 months because we bring in speakers, we bring in what you need. We do different sessions with your employees, your team, your actual team members. So we take your leadership team and do that. And we kind of bring everybody in and do assessments and everything. Yep.
Wow.
But they can see all of that on our website. We don't have our Me Time on there yet. That's a one that we're doing, so they can also do that. And if they not for sure what to do, they can always give us a call.
Wow, that's a lot.
We do it. We make sure. The thing about it, Daryl, is one thing I realized is that you have to hit people as a whole. Yeah. So with the Kids on the Move for Success, we hit our youth with our after-school programs and all that, right? And our scholarships and everything. And then with our women program, which is Women on the Move for Success, we hit our women, right? And then our diversity, which is our Leaders on the Move for Success, we hit our leaders and our employees. So when you finish, you hit everybody as a whole. So no matter if you're a mama, you're a dad, or you're a youth, everybody gets touched somewhere. Because one thing I realized is that when you touch families as a whole, then you can make a difference in their lives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And anyone that's watching this, that's here because you want personal transformation in your life, hey, we all have jobs. Some of us are entrepreneurs. We're professionals. When we start changing the purpose internally in ourselves, that can't help but just bleed over into everything else that we do and benefit our family, our businesses, our community, our church, whatever it is. We can do it. Listen, Antoinette, we're at the end of our time already. Can't believe it. This has been a wonderful time. I know. Listen, everybody that attends this summit, Antoinette's going to give everyone a free gift. And it's a PDF download. So what is that, Antoinette?
That is the 7 ways to achieve your best day.
Wow.
You want to be able to see, how can I have my best day in this life? So everybody will get an opportunity to be able to see those 7 steps. And when you look at it, you be like, Antoinette, for showing this, you're going to give us a call and walk you through it.
Well, it sounds like you needed that PDF when you were standing in front of that truck.
Oh, my goodness. Because somebody had just given me a day. Just one way of how I could survive.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out 7, but 1 would have been good.
Absolutely. And this is why we're doing the summit, because we're connecting people with people.
That's it.
And that's how we learn, and that's how we grow. Now, Antoinette's got 2 other gifts. So there's 2 people that are attending this live summit that are going to get a free gift. Not everybody, but just 2 people. What is that?
Okay, so what those 2 gifts are is a one-on-one coaching session with me. And I do that coaching session. So it would be a one-on-one coaching session with me for the Living on Purpose or one of our programs. I'll go over all of that with you. Or you can do a discussion coaching session with me. And both of those sessions are actually based off of my Tuff tactics, which is compassion, confidence, and control.
Wow. Somebody's going to get that.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
Wow.
And you look, now don't be over there sleeping on it, y'all. Y'all need to go and sign up for this conference, because you got 3 ways to be able to be blessed on top of what all the other speakers are giving you. So you can't sit there and say, I don't know how to I ain't got no transformation. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to walk in my purpose. I don't know how to do it. We done gave you 3 ways.
There's no excuse. There's no excuse.
We done gave you 3
and
ways.
Listen, everybody. You can also get Antoinette's book, I believe, on Amazon, right?
You can get it on my website. If you want it autographed, you can go on my website under media and books, and they can do it there. And then that way I will autograph it to you, personalize it to you, pray over it, all that, and ship it right on to you.
That's awesome. Hey, Antoinette, thank you so much for spending this time with us. And thank you, everyone, for watching. And you can do it. There's purpose. Sometimes you just need to find it.
That's it.
Have a blessed day.
Yes. Now make sure y'all come and let us know how you're doing about it now, okay?
Yeah.
We want to know what that looks like for you.
Yeah.
So come back on our social media on Antoinette Tuff, and come back on there. You want to make sure on the website and let us know what you think about it. We can help you if you don't come on over and let us know.
That's
yes,
it. That's it. Be blessed, everyone, and have a wonderful day.